You've gotten this far in your leadership life. Now it's time to level up. You can learn the tools to reimagine, reinvent, and to even love your leadership life. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hello. How are you feeling today? I know that's a little bit of a loaded question. At the time of this recording, our hearts are heavy. I know mine is. Our hearts have been heavy over events happening in our world. We wonder what we can do to alleviate the suffering and the pain of others. And we maybe wonder how to manage our own sense of helplessness. I learned this week that this sense of helplessness is called empathic distress. It is this overwhelm and exhaustion that many of us are feeling these days as we see events unfold across the world where babies and children and families are dealing with unimaginable events. And so this empathic distress, it shows up in different ways. Maybe you isolate yourself. Maybe you feel powerless or hopeless. Maybe you feel sad or depressed or angry. Or if you're like me, maybe you keep thinking about the suffering of others. You're carrying it with you. So over time, this empathic distress, of course, it can result in a lot of overwhelm. If you're in leadership, a lot of burnout. When even the mental health professionals are burned out, the people who can help are burned out, the social workers, the therapists, the coaches, the teachers, the counselors, when they're burned out, you know that this is all very exhausting. That's why what I want to talk about today is the response to dealing with these heavy emotional periods when you are in a leadership role. What do you do? Now, there are no easy answers, but what I can offer to anyone who is tired and empathically distressed is what I say here often, and that is to work on your own self-leadership, to learn the tools, to adopt the practices, to do them consistently, because when you show up from a regulated nervous system, when you show up with your awareness, when you show up with boundaries for yourself, then you're better prepared to support others. And you basically set the stage for others to do the same. You create that ripple effect. When you self-lead and learn how to regulate your own emotions, you can respond to all of those internal and external stressors that you face every day in healthier ways. And when you do that, it's not just your mental and emotional health that improves, but also your physical health, your relationship health, your leadership improves, and your leadership life improves. And so I just went through some of this over the weekend. I was already feeling the empathic distress of the world, that global empathic distress that a lot of us are dealing with. And I was working on it. I was doing a good job, actually, of keeping my nervous system regulated. And then I had another event take place right at my back door. I was out at my ranch. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I won't get into the details. But the reason I bring it up is because I want to share with you what I did to help myself ease out of it, to help me ease out of it, and see if maybe you want to try some of that and see how it works for you. So I was out at our ranch and I noticed, my husband noticed that one of our bull calves was not looking good. And again, to make a long story short, our little bull did not make it, and he passed away right in front of us. And I'll spare the details, but it was a really sad scene. It was, when you're already tender from what's going on in the world and then something like this happens, it's challenging. And so I was certainly having to deal with my emotions. But just a few days later, here I am. I can speak to you about it from a feeling of peace. I'm much more at peace with it today. So here are the steps that I took that you might want to try. All right. So we always want to start with awareness. Number one, Notice what you are feeling. Don't push it away or ignore it. See if you can meet it and even name it. See if you can label it. Say it out loud. Say, I feel upset. I feel sad. In my case, that's what I was saying. When I did this weekend, it was so helpful in getting me started on processing those emotions. So, number one, identify and label how you feel. Then, number two, observe how your body is reacting. For me, I was really sad. I can't find another emotion to replace that. That was it. It was sadness. I always try to make sure I select the correct emotion that I am feeling, because that helps me to understand where it came from, which thoughts are associated with the emotion and all of that. It helps with the processing. And so for me, it was pure sadness. When it was over, I went inside, I met my emotions. Like I said, I labeled my sadness. I told my husband, I just feel so sad. I told myself, I am feeling sad. And I noticed my thoughts about it all. I was observing myself from the balcony, so to speak. So, I took on the role of the observer and observed what was going on inside of my head. I observed the emotions I was feeling. It was a moment of pause to just take it in and to observe it all. So all of this is helping me to process the emotions. All right, so then the next step, number 3, is deciding how you want to respond on purpose. For me, it ended up being acceptance. I reminded myself I could not control what happened to that baby calf. I told myself that being sad is valid. It's okay, I can be sad. I put it in perspective. Ranching has a tough side to it. Nature has a tough side to it. And then I decided to honor our bull calf, honor its short life in my own way. I won't go into all the details, everything I did, but it was my own way of honoring its life. And I'm still sad about it. It's not that the compassion goes away. It's just that the reframing and the processing helps to regulate the way you respond to whatever it is you're facing. And so it's helped me to get back to my balance, to my more balanced state. And so it's going to vary according to the individual persons who are experiencing difficult experiences. It's going to vary according to the experiences, to the circumstances. But what you can do is you can ask yourself these questions to determine what you are experiencing and to help you to deal with your empathic emotions. You can ask yourself, what does my empathic distress feel like? What are the emotions I'm feeling? And then, like I said, name them, call them out. I am feeling sad. I am feeling angry. I'm feeling upset, whatever it is. What are the emotions that rise up? How are they showing up in your body? Ask yourself, where are they in my body? What are they doing in my body? And just pause, just observe it all. And then once you're more at peace, more comfortable, then decide how you want to respond on purpose. I know it's easier said than done, but I will always encourage you to give it a try. I know that you can do it. All right. Sending you a lot of love this week. We'll see you next time. If you're ready to dive into this work, check out my Living Your Leadership Life membership. It's where you will find the coaching tools and community to help you leave survival in the dust and create the leadership life you desire. Go to drjuliabarrow.com and the Work With Me page for more information. And if you know someone else who can benefit from listening to this podcast, send them our link. Our world can use some healing, and it starts with our leaders. Join us.